So we're back. This is the second part of the prep guide. If you're here, that means you probably watched the first one. And I will say this, that a lot of you will not take the time to actually do the work. A lot of you will watch a few videos and then get upset that you didn't get the information. You have to dedicate the time if you want to learn to trade. I cannot stress this enough. Anyone who's ever made it trading is going to tell you the same exact thing. So some of you are going to watch these videos, go back to whatever it is you're doing. And some of you are going to internalize what it is that's being said here and actually follow the steps. And those are going to be the ones that succeed. We're going to talk about trading journals, reliable internet, and what device you should get, demo accounts, and we're going to talk about basic trading software, basic charting software. We're also going to talk about the core structure of the starter pack so you can get an understanding of what it is that you're going to be looking at. What you'll need before you start, okay? You're going to need a trading journal. This is going to help you to document what it is that you're doing. So when you test your strategy, you have data. You actually can see, okay, I did this, I did that. What are my mistakes? Maybe you're jumping in too early. Maybe you're trading too much. But this is going to help you. And I'm telling you, you're going to come to me, hey, it's not working. I don't understand. And I'm going to say one thing. Where's your trading journal? So I can review what it is you've been doing and see whether or not you've been consistent, see what's going on in your head. This is what's going to help you correct and adjust what it is that you may be doing wrong. Okay, so trading journal. You need reliable internet. You need a device. This is something that a lot of people get stuck on, even with getting started with anything. You buy all this equipment and you get in and you jump and you think that this is what's going to make a difference, but that's not it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the device, but you need reliable internet because you have to understand things are going to go wrong. I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk more about it. The next, you need a demo account, or you need to be trading with a smaller amount of capital. And then next, we need basic charting software. You can use TradingView. It's free. You don't need to do the paid version. If you choose to do that, that's on you. Let's talk about reliable internet and the device. So a laptop, a desktop is what's recommended for charting, so that you can see what it is you're dealing with. Typically, on a phone, it's a different app, different software, different way of navigating. You can trade. I know traders who trade on their phones. Specifically, they'll be in their kid's class or something, and they'll just be like charting for the week or whatever. Smartphone can be used, but it is not recommended as your primary tool. Now, this is another thing that goes with lifestyle. It's like, yeah, you may be putting your trades in, but you don't want to be sitting on your phone all day looking at the charts. This is not what we recommend. Don't buy the latest device. Don't buy a bunch of expensive screens. Don't do this, because what's probably going to happen is you're not going to be making money initially. And so you want to use what you have so that you can keep your overhead low. When you get into the market, you're not trying to compensate for a $1,000 laptop, 6 screens, and you're like, why am I not making money? So try to keep your expenses as low to the ground as possible. The funny thing is, I don't know why, but most of the great traders that I've met have had terrible equipment. I mean, one, he had the screen falling off, and these are amazing, traders, people who made a lot of money a couple times over, but they just don't see a need to invest in the latest software, and they don't have a bunch of screens. Honestly, the guys who have a bunch of screens don't really know what they're doing. Scale as you go. Figure out what it is you need and build on and take off. Don't just start with what you think a trader needs to begin. Your first task, honestly, in my opinion, is survival. Make it through the first year. Just make it through the first year. If you can do that, you're gonna be better than most people, because most traders lose their money in the first year anyway. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is a demo account. So you can get a demo account with Thinkorswim, TradingView, with Oanda, get one with Binance. You can get any demo account that you need, and we highly recommend that you start like this, because you don't know your strategy. You don't know what kind of trader you are. You don't want to lose real money trying to figure out what it is that's going on in the markets, finding these patterns. So we highly recommend that you start with a demo account. Now, if you are the kind of person who wants to use money and you can't really find yourself focused, or you find yourself tied to the markets, it's not real, you can use your capital, but try to only risk very, very small amounts. Like if you say, oh, I'm going to do $20 a trade, cut that to 5, because now what's going to happen is you're not going to be so attached to that amount of money. And I've seen it said like $50 per trade when you're starting out. You don't have to do that. You can work your way up to $50 a trade. I've seen Lance B, and I always talk about this guy. He said, and it was one of the best things I've ever heard was, you can use $1 to trade. And I remember trading stocks with $1, and it was like, man, I'm really getting the hang of this, and I'm not worried, I'm not stressed. So when I did have larger amounts, I had already worked up the feeling and the acceptance of loss and wins. So nothing really affected me emotionally in the market. So this is another really good strategy. So demo account or low amount of money to test what it is that you're doing in the market. Next, we have basic trading software. And again, you can use TradingView. We're not going to go too much into that. There's a few trading softwares out there, but get familiar with one. Actually learn the ins and outs. And this is why I say just survive a year, because you don't know how to use the software. You're getting used to it. You need to learn. So let's talk about mindset. This is very important. Like, I need you guys to understand this. I cannot stress it enough. Avoid superstition at all costs. There are no little green men in the market moving the market to get your stops and try to take your money. Your money doesn't matter. Retail traders are not the ones moving the market. No one cares about your little bit of money, okay? You have to avoid this. You have to understand that you are responsible for every single trade you put in and take off the table, okay? If the trade is not going the way that you feel it should, take it off. If you're uncertain about your trades, take it off. If you do not have the commitment in your trade, it's going to manifest as uncertainty. And if you're feeling uncertain, you should probably just go ahead and take the trade off the table. If you expected the trade to take off in 20 minutes and it doesn't do that, and you don't feel comfortable with being committed to that trade, take it off the table. This is what you have to understand. You are responsible for your money. You don't have to risk 50% of your account on every trade. You choose to risk that amount. You choose not to have a plan. And so please, we need to understand that it's very easy to become superstitious as a human. And so if you don't understand yourself, and that's why I love trading, is because it teaches you about yourself. If you do not understand how you operate, you are going to develop superstition. And the worst thing that can happen is you develop a superstitious mind that actually wins, because you're going to bet more and more and more until you finally lose, and you're going to lose big. So please, let's avoid superstition, guys. 90% of strategies work. You're the problem, okay? You are the problem. When we talk about, teaching trading, everyone expects there to be some kind of strategy. And even if I tell you my strategy, you using it, you're not going to understand. It's not yours. So the strategy isn't the problem. A lot of times it's the mindset of the person attached to it. And so a lot of times, like we said, ECX, we're not going to be strategy focused. We're going to help you with the problem. And the problem is you and your mindset, okay? So this is the course structure for the starter pack. We have an introduction, we have fundamentals, market overviews where we go over stocks, crypto and forex and futures. We'll talk about brokers that we use. We talk about trading psychology, and I really want you to make sure that you take these things in. We go over types of analysis, fundamental, technical, sentimental analysis. We go over market conditions, indicators, building a strategy, and back testing that strategy. We also have a bonus where we talk about crypto. And so this is going to be another thing that helps you to long-term invest as well as day trade crypto. Now, the approach that I want you to take to this course is I want you to go at your own pace. If you don't have the time, don't worry. The market will always offer opportunities. Even when people are saying, oh, well, we're going to be held out of crypto, it's moving too fast. Don't worry. The market will always give you an opportunity in the future to either go up and make money or go down and make money. I want you to take notes. I want you to really internalize this course. Take it personally. Look inside. Think about the things you're saying. Reflect on them. Maybe even read a book during the course. And one I would recommend always is Trading in the Zone. Every trader I've ever met has said to read this book. It's probably one of the most highly recommended books. I'm not getting paid for this endorsement, but I will say that that is one of the best books I've ever read on trading, and you can't go wrong. Next is engage with the materials. Really take the time to internalize it. Don't get upset when you skim through the course and you get those skim through results, okay? Ask questions. We're here. Email. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you don't like it, if you have a question, just say it. Nothing you can ask will be met with resistance. Everything is open. This is the whole part of us building this community, is so that people can ask questions and we can get feedback and we can refine things. This is how we improve, and this is how you will improve. Before you use real money, please practice. We call him Sensei. He was like, do you get the confidence first or do you get the results first? And so I said, oh, you get the results and then that gets the confidence. He said, no, you get the confidence first. And that's what starts you to get the results. And so thinking about gaining confidence in something that I hadn't actually done yet was just mind-boggling. But trading, oftentimes, the mindset that you have to develop is backwards. You will make mistakes. Keep this in mind. You cannot win in trading if you cannot accept losing, if you cannot accept mistakes. There will be times where you input a trade and you meant a long and you put a short. There'll be times where you put a trade in, your internet goes out. There'll be times where you put a stop in and you oversize the position and the trade may go in the opposite direction or it may even go in the right direction. I've had times where I've won with mistakes. But the point is, you have to accept them as mistakes, okay? Not every loss is a lesson and not every lesson is a loss. So you have to understand this, and we'll talk about it a bit more, and you'll hear this in the starter pack, and you'll hear this when we talk. These mistakes are very important. And the last thing I'll leave you with, the only difference between the master and the apprentice is that the master has made 10 times more mistakes than the apprentice ever has. And that's what's going to make you better, is when you make these mistakes and you grow, you realize this is a part of the process. This isn't something wrong. So I say, survive for a year. That's your first goal. So I'll see you again in the next video. We'll get more into some technicals, get you into the vernacular of trading. See you next time.